Hello and welcome to another episode of Spirit Walking with Spirit Walker. I'm Spirit Walker, and today we're going to be spirit walking my old high school football field, which is now Stanley-Jensen Stadium, previously Lions Stadium. So let's walk. In case you're wondering where Stanley-Jensen Stadium gets its name, right here on the side is a plaque dedicated to J. Fred Stanley, MD. It says October 20th, 1924 to May 31st, 1978. Family physician, family man, benefactor, and a cherished friend loved by his community. Presented by the Prattville Notary Club in 1978. That's where the Stanley comes from, in Stanley-Jensen. On the other side is the plaque in honor of Coach Fred E. Jensen. Watauga County High School, 1946 to 1956. Coach exemplified the spirit of sportsmanship and devotion to his players, fellow faculty, and community by winning with humility and losing with dignity. We did a lot of dignitying when I was in high school. This is also the home. You can see it's gated off right now. You can't really see it well. But let me see if I can show you the end zone down there. Not only is the stadium dedicated to Stanley and Jensen, the field is actually Kevin Turner Field. Dedicated to football champion Kevin Turner. Now, when I was in high school here, we didn't have AstroTurf. As you can see on the field right now, they have the really nice turf. Sidelines are nice. Back when I played, it was all mud and dirt and a little bit of grass here and there. It was pretty much a mess. Many times I got tackled on that field in the mud on rainy days. You can see now off to the right is the home field side. It's got a nice press box at the top. Nice bleachers. Look over here at the visitors team. Visitors team side is all stone bleachers. Trust me, they are hard on the bottom side. When I was a kid, that was the home field side. Those were the good bleachers. That little section to the right there was where the band sat. The next section was where the student body sat. Now the student body and the band are all the way down at the end of the home field side. And those bleachers make a lot of racket because they're metal. So you can really start that we will rock you. Some things have not changed. These little buildings here with the white and the red brick, or they're cinder block actually. This is the field house, and this is where we always dressed out. Now it's the visitors' dressing room. Because the high school, Prattville High School, has its own dressing room, and the players get dressed there before they come to the field. This used to be where we worked out, where we dressed out. We did everything in this field house right here. And when the Coach Holly, who was our head coach back then, when Coach Holly didn't quite make it down here for practice, me and some other guys would come down here and climb through that vent right there. Back then it was completely open and it was just a big fan in that vent. I was small enough to be able to climb up there, climb between the fan blades, get into the roof, go all the way down, walking beams up in the roof, go all the way down, and then climb down in the weight room on the Nautilus machine and open one of these doors. We used to have a water fountain right there where that hose mechanism is on the side of the building. we had a water fountain there. And I remember we used to take salt tablets so we wouldn't get cramps while we were working out. Of course, this is the ticket booth right here. Always has been. And then there's a little gap between them. There are bleachers at the end zone. And you can see a concession stand just past the end of the eave of this building here. There's a concession stand. Building on this end, of course, is restrooms, men's and women's. But at the other end of the men's and women's restrooms is a snack bar. When I was in school here, the bleachers were small on this side because this was the visitor side. And all this area here was where we would tackle and kill each other in practice, so we didn't tear the field up. One of the hardest hits I ever took was right there under those bleachers. Of course, the bleachers weren't there at the time, but right there in that area, I took the hardest hit, turned me for a flip, and the guy that hit me didn't even know he hit me. He was accidentally there. I was running a dummy play up the middle as a running back. Got what had taken place right in here. You see how tall these light poles are. I believe they're 80 feet above ground. My brother's an electrician. He had a contract wants to change these light bulbs. So I stood at this one here and watched the guy climb all the way up there while I fed him stuff up a rope while he changed the lights. We're on what I call the backside of the stadium now. Again, that very tall outcropping there of seats was not there. This is where we practiced. Had a good time out there. The wooden bleachers would have been where these steel bleachers are now. We're down at the student section and the band section of the home side now. Down where the scoreboard is. And you'll see that little red and white building there. There's another concession stand and restrooms down behind the sign there. That low section right there to the left of the bleachers is where the band sits. The student section is right next to it, a little bit taller. And we're looking at Stanley-Jensen Stadium from the backside. The American Legion Hall is out here behind the stadium. And then beside the stadium is a church. And then all these houses that are out through there that hate it when it's game day because the traffic is terrible. Got the Power P for Prattville Lions. We've always been the Prattville Lions. Even though the junior high team went from the Prattville Red Raiders to the Prattville Cats. Now back here behind the bleachers, it's just kind of empty back in there. As you can see, each one of them, each one of these pillars, this is kind of a big empty area. In one of these at one time, and I don't know why, we had an improvised weight room back here. It was closed off, and I remember there being free weights in there. I don't remember if we had Nautilus machines in there or not, but I do know we had free weights back in there. It was right after I had buffed up pretty big, and that's the only time I remember. I don't remember it lasting very long, and it may have been right here where this cement slab kind of extends out. That was probably it right there. We had an improvised weight room. I remember that distinctly. Only in Alabama would you have a football field with a tree stand. Happy hunting, Prattville. Go Lions! Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Spirit Walking. As we walked Stanley-Jensen Stadium, I'm going to go in here and work out now. But do me a favor. For your workout, take your finger, hit the thumbs up button, give me a like, and then hit the subscribe button. The more subscriptions I get, the more I can do. All right? But until next time, that's it for now. I'm Spirit Walker, and I approve of this message.